thinking you're gonna forge this and forge that. Okay, what happens when you get caught? Hi, Dumelang. Guys, welcome to my channel. So if you are a returning subscriber, I really do appreciate you. And if you are new here, this is the first time that you are seeing my face, then hi, hello. My name is Anna, and I really hope that you find this video helpful, informative. Check out the other videos on the channel, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do click the subscribe button down below. It is free of charge. Alright guys, let's just get into today's video, alright? And in this video, we will be talking about some things that you should look out for to avoid being scammed when looking for an English teaching job here in China, or a job in general here in China. So please do the right things when it comes to hunting for a job and getting all your documents together. Yes, you might want to, if you're thinking you're going to forge this and forge that, okay, what happens when you get caught? What happens then? Guys, please look after yourselves, and in doing so you're going to look after your family, because it's not just going to affect you if you put yourself in these sort of circumstances. Okay, anyways, let's get into the first thing is unsolicited approaches. So what do I mean by this point? What I mean is that you shouldn't just trust anyone on social media that offers you a job. Somebody messages you out of the blue on Instagram, on Facebook, out of nowhere to say, hey, we've got a teaching job, we're looking for a teacher, and they send you this post. And you thinking, these people are really eager. Like, watch out. Watch out. If they're so eager, they're usually covering up something. Like, yay, watch out. Next point I'm gonna say is, if you finding where the list of the requirements isn't the same as what you have researched and what you've heard myself and other people say, these are the documents that you need and these are the qualifications, you find that they don't need qualifications, or qualifications are changing, today it's this, tomorrow it's this, yay, run. Okay, if they are saying you don't need qualifications, you don't need these documents, you just gotta pack your bags and leave, what you need to know is, in order to teach English here in China, when it comes to qualifications, they need you to at least have a degree. At least. It doesn't matter which field it is, have a degree. If it's outside of education, then you need to add on your TOEFL certificate. That is the qualifications required to teach. If somebody's telling you you don't need a degree, you don't need anything, you can just pass your matric and come teach it with a matric, you are setting yourself up for I don't know what, and I don't want to find out, and I hope you don't either. But don't go for those type of posts, okay? Next, no Z visa. So what I mean by this point is, you need a Z visa in order to work in China. If you're wanting to teach English in China, when you apply for your visa, you need the Z visa, okay? If you do not have a Z visa, you will be working here illegally. Please hear me. Let's say, for example, you decide, can I use student visa, by travel visa, just want to get to China and work. Okay, sure, go ahead, do that. But what happens when something goes wrong and they find out that you're here illegally? Please, guys, please be careful and take care of yourself. Make sure your documents are correct. Make sure that you're on the correct visa, which is the Z visa. If your school, if you're seeing a job post where they say that a Z visa is not required, run. What are you doing working for a company that is happy to take you from any old visa, or says no visa is requirement? Like, why would you go for such a post when you know very well that you need a Z visa to legally work in China, especially if you're going to be an ESL teacher, you're going to be teaching? Why would you go after that job? Yes, it's all fine if you get here and things are going well, under whatever visa you're on, but what happens when something goes wrong? What happens when things go wrong and the police come to your school for checks, or the government comes to your school for checks, or officials or authorities, whatever authority comes to your school to do certain checks, what happens? Because your school is not going to be there fighting for you in court or at the police station. They're not going to be there. They're going to just let them arrest you or deport you. Your school's not going to be there fighting your battles for you. You are on your own when you get to this country, which is why I'm saying if something goes wrong, guys. Anyway, my next point is too good to be true. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. If you're reading a job post and you're seeing, wow, the salary they're offering here is really high. Normally from the job sites that I've gone on, the job offers are around this amount, but this one is so high. And all the benefits, there's so many benefits. Wow. Like if you've got that reaction of saying, wow, like I've never seen this type of offer before. Is this really real? If you have to ask yourself that question and you feel like it's too good to be true, normally it is too good to be true, okay? Which is why I'm saying go on sites where they are posting. I'll link some links down below where you can see job posts here in China. So you can see what are the salaries going for, what are the job requirements, the qualifications, the experience, the responsibilities and duties. Look at those things so that when you do get offers and you can suss out what's too good to be true, you can suss out what is normal, what's not abnormal. Please, guys. And follow your gut. Sometimes if your gut is telling you no, listen to that feeling. Or if God is telling you, like whatever you believe in, listen. Next point, an unclear work contract. Okay? If your teaching position or job, they don't have a contract, so they just hire you word of mouth and you come here, you didn't sign a contract. Girl, guy, boy, don't do it. Do not take up a job where there isn't a work contract between you and your employer. And if there is a contract, make sure that it is clear and explicit, okay? Go through it thoroughly. Once you've gone through it and you think, okay, you're happy with it and you're happy with the terms, give your contract to someone else to look at, because they may pick up something that you did not pick up. Look at what does it say about your pay. Is it saying your pay is before tax, or is it saying it's after tax? When it comes to your housing allowance, are they saying that your housing allowance is excluded from the salary, or is it inclusive of what they've said your salary is? Look at those things. Look at what does it say about if you want to terminate your contract. How much notice do you need to give? Are they saying that you need to give 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, 1 month, or no notices? Like, make sure that you know. Also, make sure that you know what happens if they want to terminate the contract. What are the repercussions of them terminating? How will them terminating affect you? Will they give you notice when they want to terminate to give you time to find a new job? Do they expect you to pay some sort of penalty if you were to terminate your contract early? So look at what it says about terminating the contract, what it says about you terminating the contract and how that will affect you, how it will affect them, what are the terms of you actually saying, I want to leave, what happens. Then also look at what are the terms of you terminating, of them terminating the contract? How does it affect you? How does it affect them? What are the repercussions? So make sure that you understand those things. Make sure that your contract covers those things. Because if it doesn't, it's unclear, then they can do whatever they want. And if you try to complain, you can't, because the contract doesn't say anything and you signed on the dotted line. And you were all happy when it was signing the contract that you didn't think about what happens when things go wrong. So contracts are important when things are not going great at your school. That contracts are very important, which is why make sure that it is explicit and that everything is in there. Then leave, vacations, termination, see what it says about those things. Sick leave, look at what it says about those things. Is there a clause for overtime? Look at those things. Okay, please guys, it is so important. Is there a probation or is there not a probation? Look at these things. Once you've had a look at your contract and you're happy, make sure that before you sign, you give it to somebody else to have a look at. And don't feel like the way that you get your contract is the way that it needs to be. You can speak to them, you can ask if they can make certain changes if need be, negotiate, like there's room for that. There was a section in my contract when it comes to the flight allowance. So they said that they would give me a flight allowance, so reimbursing of my flight tickets on me presenting a return flight ticket. That means coming into China and leaving, a return ticket. So I was like, what if I've come to China and then let's say I choose to stay in China but I change schools, am I not going to get my flight reimbursed? So I didn't like that, and I said that, listen, it was expensive flying here, especially during COVID times when flights cost a little bit more than what they do right now. And I also was like, I came here to work. It's not like I left in the middle of a contract. If I finish my contract and I've come into your country, I should be reimbursed for my flight. It shouldn't be on the clause of I need to produce a return flight ticket. No. So they changed that clause. There was a few other things that I had to speak to them about in my contract that they updated. So don't feel like the way you get your contract is the way that it needs to be. You can go back to them and have certain things added or reworded, and make sure that the contract is in English and Chinese. Don't just take a Chinese contract and then you put it through Google Translate and then you sign that. The contract should have English, should have Chinese and English translation, so you know that what you are signing is something that you understand and it's there in black and white in a language that you can understand, because you are signing an entire year, and that piece of paper will regulate how you get treated at your school, and if you're not happy with something, steps that can be taken. That's why this contract is important. Next, we're going to talk about vague escape clauses. Okay, there should be a clause that talks about termination in your contract, right? We've spoken about that. But look at how much notice are they saying that you should give, and what do you need to do in order to terminate? Do you need to give them 30 days notice? Do you need to have a written notice, or is it word of mouth? What happens when you want to take leave? So if it's too vague, that's a problem. Make sure that it's explicit, because there will be times when you do need to take leave or you do need to terminate. So these are the things that you should look out for. Make sure that you understand your contract. So just to summarize, make sure you understand your contract. Make sure there is a contract, and make sure that it's explicit, that there's nothing that's vague and unclear, that it has everything when it comes to termination, whether it's termination on your side and termination from their side. It needs to speak about it. Leave, what happens with leave? Make sure that's in there. Vacation, when it comes, if there's overtime, they need to talk about overtime in there. If there's your pay, is it before tax, after tax? Your housing allowance, is housing allowance included in that salary or is it excluded? Make sure that you know that. Make sure that what happens with pay for vacation. When you're on vacation, do they give you full pay? Is it 60% pay, 50% pay? Make sure that that's in there as well, because if it doesn't say anything, they can just say, I know you weren't working for this vacation, we don't pay you. Make sure that you know. Ask these questions. Ask them the questions. Is it full pay during summer vacation or winter vacation? So you know. What else do I think is important? So that's your contract. When you are interacting with these people, look out for, vague email addresses and, try and avoid those kind of things. Make sure that you're on the right visa and that you've got the correct documentation. Make sure they're also asking for those documents, and it, you know what documents are required. If they're telling you don't need that to work here, run. Okay? If something is too good to be true, run. It usually is. Okay? So yeah, those are some of the few pointers that I can give you guys to look out for when you are job hunting to work here in China. Just be careful and take care of yourself, okay? There's groups that share recruiters. So South Africans in China Facebook group, people share the recruiters on there. Recruiters are also in there. And when you found your school, you know, if there's people to ask, if you want to ask people, have you worked at the school, and if they can give you some opinions, take those. But also remember that we each have our own experiences, so what might happen with me may not be what will happen to you. But do listen to what people have to say, because some people have been through the mostest, okay? And we share our experiences and we share videos like this to help you guys out. Honestly, we really do. So please take care of yourself. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing or that I should add in what I've already told you. For those of you that are taking jobs with training centers, just be careful. There's some laws that changed with training centers, so make sure that your training center is legal and that your school is also legal and they hiring you legally and that you're not an illegal worker here. So make sure you're on the correct visa, please. You have the C visa when you come to work here and teaching here, please. That's very important. What else do I want to add? You know, I've seen some people that will message me, say, hi Anna, got a contract, I've signed the contract, you know what, at least let me just get to China and then I can always find a new job. Please note, it's not the easiest to terminate your contract and find another job here in China. So what happens is your visa, your work permit, your residence permit, all of this is linked to your school. So the minute you're going to change schools, you need your school to write you up a release letter, so you can now switch to go under another school. But if you don't get that release letter, you can't go and work at another school legally. So it's not the easiest of places to leave one job mid-contract and go to another. So please have that in mind when you just sign a contract saying to yourself, at least I got a job, when I get there I will switch. Please don't have that mentality of, at least I've got a job, I will get there and switch, because it's not the easiest of places to switch to another job, because your visa and work permit and these things are tied to your school. And if a school is petty, which some of them are petty and some of them may not want to just let you go and they want to make your life a living hell, they can do that with your documents, especially when they have your physical documents. So yeah guys, just please don't sign a contract out of desperation. Make sure that you go through your contract thoroughly and that you're happy with it. Don't just sign and say, I'll find a new job when I get there, because I believe it's not the easiest to get a release letter from your school that would allow you to go to another school and work under them. Some people have struggled to get that release letter. I mean, obviously there are ways, but yeah, just make sure that you go through your contract and you're happy with it. Have a couple of interviews, get a couple of offers first. My very first offer, it was when that contract was through an agency. So I was signing a contract with the agency, not directly with the school. So the school would pay the agency would pay me. I didn't like that scenario, so I did not go with that very first offer. I had a couple more interviews. So I had 4 interviews, 4 offers, and then I picked my current school out of these. So please have a couple of interviews and make sure that you've got options so you can see what is out there. Don't just go with the very first offer that you get. I mean, if you're happy with it and it's great and you're happy with the terms of everything, great. But don't just go out of desperation and tell yourself you'll find a job when you get there, you'll look for another one. Please. That's just my point to you guys. Honestly, I would hate for you guys to be stuck in a toxic environment and now you can't get out of it, you know. Obviously there are ways to get out of it, but just wherever you can help yourself, do it. Whatever you can do to aid yourself, do it. Yeah, honestly. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to this part of the video, I really do appreciate you guys. Let me know if there's something else that you guys would like to know. What videos are you guys wanting to see from me, especially for this year while we are in China? So let me know what videos you guys want to see next from me. I was thinking, I have seen that some of you do enjoy the home vlogs where I'm just vlogging here at home. You enjoy those, and some of you asked if they can be longer. So I would love to do that for you guys. I have seen the request to do some travel vlogs, so when I do go somewhere here in China, I will vlog for you guys. I know some of you may be interested in, you know, what does my day-to-day look like the minute I wake up and I go to school and what happens there. So yeah, I would definitely want to put those together for you guys. But if there's anything else, please do let me know in the comment section. Wherever you are, I'm just wishing you a great week and a lovely weekend. From me to you,